Hello and good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Saida, and I am thrilled to talk to you today about the topic of beyond orgasm and 3 other side effects of actually properly training with the Jade Egg. The reason I'm doing this is I have so many women writing me in and actually saying, is this practice only for sexual stuff? Is this only ever about orgasm? And it's not. And in fact, I want to assure you that orgasm is actually just one of those beautiful side effects of properly training, but it's actually not the focus of the practice. So if you believe that the Jade Egg practice, the focus of it is to have epic orgasms, you've been misinformed, because that's actually not foundationally what this practice is about. This is a traditional practice. It's been around for a long time. And so I want to talk to you today about 3 other very powerful benefits if you actually do this practice correctly that I've seen many, thousands of women who've studied with me have these benefits. So I want to share those with you. But I wanted to first debunk the piece that Jade Egg work is purely geared to sex and great orgasms. Okay, so I hope that I cleared that up at the start of the video. If you didn't get that part, then watch the start of the video, because it's an important little piece. So no, it is not part of that. Now, my work with the Jade Egg has been so important because I discovered, kind of by fluke in some ways, because I was so heavily trained in technique, and actually the majority of the people working right now with the Jade Egg, that is their focus. They're treating their bodies like in the functional model. If I do this, I will get this result. And that's actually normal because it's how we do things in our society. We're how-to people, right? And how-tos are actually fantastic. But there was something more profound available that I discovered through doing my study in my PhD. And what shook me to the core, what changed my career forever, and what I want to talk about here, because it's so important, because nobody's addressing it, is that you are more than just the functional aspect of your body. You are a sexual being. And so what does that mean? What does that mean when we're engaged in a practice that has been so misunderstood and is propagated with so much hype? How do you get through to the truth? Because I can guarantee, ladies, that within you, in your deeper core, there is a yearning. There's a yearning to come home to yourself, to actually just feel good there, to understand your desire, to be relaxed with how your body changes from day to day and month to month and year to year. We are changeable beings. How do we flow with those changes? I'm happy to see some of you that are saying hello. Thank you for saying hello. And so it's really important to me that you understand that you are more than just a body that has genitals. Your sexuality isn't just your genitals. And I know that a lot of you already know that because you understand hormones, and hormones aren't just in the genitals. They flow through the whole body. They are regulated by the master glands in the brain and other glands in your body. So there is a biosphere, let's say, in your body of a chemical soup where your body's communicating all the time. And guess what? Those hormones, your brain chemistry, is affected not only by the things that you do activity-wise, but what you don't do activity-wise, and also by the things you consume and don't consume. And for me, what is most significant is what you believe. And what you believe has so much impact. So that's where, when I was doing my study, I started to understand, wow, women are actually erotically profoundly intelligent. So are men, but my study was purely on women. So that was one of the things I was contemplating with the study. And not only that, they are psychosexual beings. I want you to understand what this means, ladies. This means that your genitals, there is no fiber within them that isn't infused with the consciousness of you. With the consciousness of you. Your genitals are infused with the consciousness of you. This is what makes you a psychosexual being. You cannot separate how you think and perceive of the world and how you feel about the world from your physicality. What you think and feel affects your physicality, and actually vice versa. So in proper use of the jade egg, like I said, there is the side effect of better sex and good orgasms, but that's not the goal of this practice. So one of the goals of this practice is for you to come home to yourself. If you're doing this practice and experiencing shame or feeling like you need to hurry up and get a certain result, or feeling like you're just not good enough to actually get it right, all those kinds of things, those are natural and they're speed bumps on your practice. So one of the things that I do in my Jade Egg Mastery program is I carefully craft the work so that we can eliminate or reduce the impact of those speed bumps as you're progressing to learn more and more about yourself as a psychosexual being. And number one, one of the things that I want to share with you is you are actually, with this practice, gifting yourself something powerful. You are building and affirming and strengthening the neural pathways, the pleasure pathways in your body every time you practice correctly. I cannot talk for practices that are not done correctly because I don't study those and I don't do those. But through the method that I've developed, what I've seen is that every time a woman invests even just 5 minutes in herself, she's starting to build those strong neural pathways. How amazing is that? So that's an incredible effect. What do you think? Would you like to build and strengthen your pleasure pathways? I certainly would love to do more of that, and I do. This is something that is very regular practice for me and is part of my life. So the second thing I wanted to talk about is, as a side effect of doing the Jade Egg, is sexual vitality. Now, some of you are not sexual, you don't want to be sexual, you're kind of over being sexual. But the primary thing we need to remember, ladies, is sexual health. And that's in your own hands. I have friends who are leading OBGYNs, and the horror stories that they share with me of women who are completely disconnected with their genitals. They do not take care of their own vulva and vaginas and their internal organs in such a way that she has to perform radical surgeries that are so awful they leave me cringing. And all of that is sad to me because it's unavoidable if we as women take charge of our sexual health. So a big portion of my Jade Egg Mastery is to teach you correct anatomy and to teach you actually the correct neural pathways and to teach you like lifestyle habits that will actually empower you not only to understand the practice, but when you go see your doctor, you'll feel empowered to partake in that experience and to lean in and to actually say, you know what, I don't want you just touching my body like that. You need to ask permission before you enter my body. I need you to go slow. I need to catch my breath. Whatever it is, you will have the impeccability with yourself to create that. And that's important, ladies, because very few of us feel empowered when we go see our doctors. And so it's a very important thing to claim that for ourselves. So that's another side effect of proper Jade Egg practice, is this empowerment around your sexual health. And I can tell you for myself, never mind all the students I've helped, but for myself, I have cleared chronic yeast infections, chronic bladder infections. I have healed myself from PID, it's pelvic inflammatory disease. You can die from it. I have healed myself from some incurable disease that didn't even have a name. They didn't even know what it was, and they couldn't help me with it. This practice helped me find a state of balance, of well-being in my body. The last thing I want to say, there is a degree of sexual mastery, and I don't just mean in bed, but for the most part, all of us have a little bit of evolution to do around our sexuality, mostly because we live in a culture that is very immature around the subject of sexuality. So we don't have an orientation to what does mature sexuality look like. And I'm not talking age, because sexuality has no age. In If you haven't seen my Facebook Live on that, then definitely go look for it and watch it because it's important. I'm talking about the mastery that comes with wisdom, with making choices that are in right relationship with your vulva, your heart, and your essence as a woman, your intelligence as a woman. And so that kind of sexual mastery, not just tricks in bed, because that's also a great side effect, but it's also healing from the wounds of the collective, healing from any abuse that we've had, healing from any traumas that we've had. We are the ones that must. So here's the last side effect that I just love so much. You can repattern cellular memory in your genitals. The actual living tissues of your genitals hold memory. I don't know why. I don't understand that part of it. I just know that it's true. And the way in which I teach the Jade Egg, it's very particular. And some people don't like it. They find it too slow. But it's slow for a reason. Because I understand the potency and power of transforming the cellular memory, literally repatterning that cellular memory in the tissues. How amazing is that? That you have that power to do that if you understand how to practice correctly. I would love to get just even that piece in the hands of all women on this planet. Because as you and I know, there is so much trauma around our bodies and sexuality right now on the planet. If we could just have every woman understand that within her is the power to transform that trauma on a cellular level. Because here's the deal. We can talk about the trauma, we can have therapy around the trauma, we can do all these things. But in my research, it was absolutely clear that talk therapy alone does not create the full transformation. We've got to go into the tissues. This means direct contact with our bodies, ladies. Amazing, right? So those are the 3 things I wanted to talk about today. And I'm going to just check. There's been some comments, so I want to make sure. And if you have any questions, this is the time to ask them. I'm just going to look and see. Cynthia, I have your disc, book, and egg, trying to feel safe to start. Cynthia, do not try and feel safe. Here's the thing that you need to do. So in the Jade Egg Mastery, before we start anything, there's one thing I have all women do. Okay? And one is, what are you dedicated to? Cynthia, what are you dedicating this practice to? What is it that you would love? That's where it starts. When that is true and rings true to your heart and your body, you will naturally then go into the next part of the invitation. Everything I teach is purely by invitation. The next part of the invitation isn't even with the egg. It's just to connect with your beautiful body and to actually start to feel and come home to the fact that you have a feminine body. Okay, so just start there, Cynthia. Put the egg aside for a little while. Like, you can tuck her into your bra if you like and include her in what's going on, but start where it's true to start. And trust me, popping the egg in and going is one of the most vile and horrible pieces of the make egg movement. Because what we're doing when we just push it in and go is we are reaffirming all the wounding and all the conditioning that we've received in this culture around the fact that our sexuality, there's something weird or bad or wrong or frivolous or whatever it is, shameful, and that's not true. Okay, so it's really important to come home and feel what we feel. Okay, Quinta, I survived my childhood through living in my head, so I had almost no connection with my body, let alone my physical pleasure. Coming home to my heart awakened also to want to come. On my phone, I can't read all the comments, so I'm sorry, Quinta, but yes. And you know what? You're part of my world now, and you're being invited gently and slowly to come home to yourself. Because the truth is, ladies, the Jade Egg is a symbol of your dedication to your sexual sovereignty. It is the anchor, a physical, visual anchor of the choice that you have to read. Do you get that? The physical practices are secondary to that. And you want to do the physical practices with deep consciousness, awareness, and connection, so that you actually create transformation and not re-wounding or re-traumatizing. Okay, so that's what I want to say about that. Cynthia, recover myself. Yes. No, I can't do that. I'm not sure what you can't do, so maybe you can clarify. Isabel, come home to your feminine body. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I've had light bleeding after using the egg. I used to let it lying down. It felt amazing, and I kept practicing, and then the bleeding happened. The egg doesn't traditionally cause bleeding, so I'm not sure how you did the practice, which is why I really encourage all of you to do the Jade Egg Mastery course itself, because there's such explicit instruction to make sure that you do it correctly. I don't know if you forced the egg in, I don't know if it was too dry, or I don't know if you're close to your period, I don't know if you're, like, I have no idea what's going on in your world. And that would be a question to ask me within the program, because I actually give a lot of coaching in the program. So, so I'm sorry that that happened, and do let me know if it improves. So let's see. Cynthia, just make myself put the egg in. That's what I meant, that I can't do that. Yes, and I don't want you to do that, Cynthia. I don't want you to do that, okay? It's really, really important that you do never force your body, ever. You are intelligent. Each person here is so intelligent, erotically intelligent, that when you actually slow down enough to feel and to ask permission, you will actually feel guided by your body. Your vagina will literally say no or yes. Like, you'll get instructions. So not only will you get proper instruction from me, but the most important is to get the instruction from yourself, okay? So yeah, if you followed my instructions, were they written instructions? Jade egg does not cause bleeding traditionally. I don't know your case. You're going to have to write in about it. I just suggest you join the Jade Egg Mastery class. Right now, I think today's the last day. We're offering it at $200 off. So it is a good time to join. You can ask a lot of questions there. You'll get a ton of coaching there and explicit instruction with videos. You get to see me do the practice. Don't worry, they're not sexually graphic. I'm clothed the whole time, but I'm very explicit in my instruction, and I show diagrams and videos of the inside of the body, so you also understand what's going on there. So ladies, I'm leaving you with this. I hope you have a fabulous day. Remember to come home to yourself. Remember to ask permission. Remember to just like revere in the sexual sovereignty that you do have. And if you're watching this as a replay, or even after this, you can come back and keep asking questions or making comments, and I will do my best to more specifically address those afterwards. It's hard to do all that on the live video. Thank you so much for your amazing presence, and let's talk. Let's clarify what's actually going on a deeper level with this amazing Jade Egg practice. Bye everybody. Enjoy your amazing day. Bye.